So today's first very important task, because clearly I'm an idiot and did not do it before on this character, is unlock all the travel points on the Cape of Umbar. Because somehow I got to 150 without doing apparently almost any of the shield isles and basically all of Umbar. So I can get quests, I just can't get anywhere to do any of them right now. Oops. So we've busted out the idiot pony. And we're high speeding down the road. Yeah, no, this is definitely not the mostly walking trilogy here, despite what Randall would have you believe. And yeah, my Lotro card should absolutely be turned in. I have the feeling I must have just leveled this character through the beginning of King's Gondor and just done so many of the side quests that I hit 150 without ever even getting to past the beginning of Shield Isles. That's the only thing I can think of. Which is also why their gear is such trash. But I've been running around and enjoying playing the captain lately, so I actually want to get some progress done. I'd really like if I could get a decent set of blue cappy gear put together. Just as long as I'm not called upon to kill anything when I'm in a blue spec, because that was embarrassing the other night. So there is not as much, with a couple of caveats. The like 130 to 131, 120 to 121 jumps like that are not as bad as they used to be after the stat squish patch went in. A lot of those spikes got at least smoothed over, not fully normalized, but there's a definite smoothing effect that they that happens. So it's not as bad when you jump tiers like that as it used to be. The so I was on most of my characters that I've leveled through King's Gondor, I was leveling starting out in 140 gear, but the caveat to that is, and I might still have some stashed on this character, or I might have gotten rid of all of it. Yeah, I think I've gotten rid of all of it. But when I say I was using 140 gear, for an example, I'm talking about I was using all teal, fairly well built out 140 gear. So your mileage might vary if you're talking about like 140, yellows and purples versus 140 teal, as far as what that jump is like to when you start getting Song of Waves and Wind gear. And I did notice that when I started getting those gear pieces, though, doing the landscape questing, a lot of the time I would replace my 140 gear with it, even though it was just like 141, 142. It was nice because the stats were a little higher overall, but it wasn't that, oh god, I need to replace my raid gear with random crap drops. It's nothing like it used to be when it was the like 120 to 121 Veils of Anduin jump, where when you got there, if you tried to do anything without 121 gear, you would just get absolutely mauled. It is nowhere near that bad. Oh, Gundabad used to hurt with starter 130 gear. Yeah. It's actually one of the things I'm probably going to do later on is I want to finish up the Gundabad main story on my minstrel. I've been kind of picking up the gear throughout there. But yeah, especially if you were a light armor class, starting Gundabad in the gear you walked in there with could hurt. The Gundabad main story is so good. I just last night I wrapped up doing the Durin and Motsog storyline, and so basically it's left right at Durin having called the Dweromoot. So I went and started doing the gathering dwarves together to come meet.
Good day to you, traveler.
Yeah, when I finally actually did the core storyline in Gundabad for the first time, because the first few characters I took through there, I really just did side quests. I would do little bits of the main story quest, but I did my kind of usual skip around like a deranged hummingbird questing. Because again, you level so quickly and there's so many side quests. When I finally actually decided like, okay, I'm gonna do the Gundabad story start to finish on a character, I was blown away. We're just gonna conveniently ignore all of the undead here. They're not our problem right now. We can safely ignore them. It's MMO logic at work. Yeah, one of the people in our kin at the time was saying that the Gundabad story was really good, and I'd initially kind of written it off because I mean it's a dwarf focused story, and he is a like dwarf player, so it's like okay, I'm sure there's some bias at play. Jimmy's just saying it because it's a dwarf story. But yeah, when I actually really started in on it, I was like, okay, yeah, we're going to do the story in capital letters.
May the seas be cold and the winds fair.
Like when Motsog started with all the flashbacks of showing our Prince Durin all the previous Durins, and he kept referring to all the other Durins as you. I was so I was like, okay, something's going on here. And that's one of the things I liked, is that they did a lot of showing pieces of where that character and the story were going to go, rather than it just being like, okay, now we're going to hammer you with exposition. They developed it by the things that character did and said. It's like, hey, somebody at Standing Stone Games actually learned how to tell a story. All right, the really important thing here is to actually get the dockmaster, because the stable masters into Umbar Baharbel are nice and all, but the best way into the city from a lot of places is still by boat, and it's really easy not to get that one. I love this city, but it rivals Minas Tirith for chewing your frame rate from time to time. Just because they have so much stuff here and all the new textures. Let's see, can I get a teleport here yet? Where's... Is it City of Umbar?
Fair
Yeah.
winds to you.
Grab my travel skills real quick. And one of these people, is it the mission givers? One of these people will have the return to the Bloody Eagle Tavern. I just don't remember which person I need to talk to. I think I need to talk to an alliance vendor and start picking an alliance. Okay. Not bad.
What news has come in with the time?
So I'm gonna see how good or bad Beast of Belphilus is at tier 6 on this character with their current gear. And if I'm gonna have to steal gear from other characters or not. Okay, I've got a Hope Token and my scroll buffs. Let's see, this could go well, or I could be dying repeatedly in here. Looks like the malices aren't bad today, actually. Although that dot does hurt. Oh, they've got a damage reflect on, that's what it is. So I am killing my damn full self. So daunting disease. Oh, that also is part of it. Is that disease is a 30% morale reduction. So when I cleanse that off, it does not put me back to full health. It puts me back to 70% of my max health if I was at full health. That makes a lot of sense. So that combined with the damage reflect means I can easily kill myself if I am not careful. But the good news is, at tier 6, this place is totally doable on this character in this gear. Just maybe with some actual cooldowns and paying attention to my abilities. So the unfortunate thing is that of all the missions that come out of the Bloody Eagle here, Beast of Belphilus is probably the most manageable as far as the mobs you get in it.
What news has come in with the tide?
The rest of them, I'm not sure if I want to run as a delving on this character. Not at the gear level I have. And the only wrapper I have left is I'm working on the 10 tier 6 and above delvings. I'd like to be able to get that done today so that I can get it reset tomorrow, because these weekly quests reset on Thursday. I think Taste for Crab is probably doable. And now what I'm really wondering here is, if I look at my shared storage, do I have gear for this character still hanging out, or did I actually put it back on the champion? I play on the Landrefall server. Oh, I am in luck. I never actually put my champion's gear back. So I'm just going to steal his gear here. He'll never know it was gone. And that will give me a nice little leg up. That's like 20k more morale and a lot better stats, no biggie. Alright, now let's go get us crabs. Yeah, Landy's been my home server for a lot of years now, actually. It's been a long time since I moved here. It is not the most, like, populated as far as total population or endgamey type stuff goes, but the community here is just really nice. So it's a fun place to be. Oh, nice. So we also do have ground effects if I'm not quick enough. That's always fun. One thing I still lament is I love overall the revamp they did to the captain when it got its class balance changes. I think overall it is in a much better place than it was previously, especially with our ability to actually move into and out of states with a lot more control. But it hurts the amount of self-healing and self-sustain that Red Captain lost during that change. Oh, those dots hurt. Yeah, Captain since that change just feels so much better than previous. If nothing else, the giving us universally back of defensive strike. Whoops, my token just run out. Having defensive strike back in all of the captain's builds, to be able to get back into battle readied without having to wait for battle shout to be back off cooldown is just like, that is game changer right there for blue and yellow captains. And for red, it just means that you're spoiled for choice. So since it sounds like you play captain at least a little bit, this is something that I've asked other captains and I have not gotten a general like hard consensus on. With the changes, especially for like soloing and leveling content, which mark do you tend to use? Because I'm spec'd and I have revealing mark. I find I still use noble mark, as far as my my non-damaging mark. Just the damage reduction and the heal on getting hit, as opposed to me hitting and waiting 5 seconds, seems more consistent to me. But I don't have anything to back that up other than just how it seems like it goes. If that makes sense. So do you normally use telling mark and just go all out DPS? Or do you use revealing for sustain? Because I was using revealing on my other captain that's in the 90s, and it just did not seem like I got enough morale back consistently, where noble mark also gives the morale back and the incoming damage reduction. Am I missing? Okay, I need one more great crab. Here, crab, there you are. The thing about revealing, or not revealing mark, revealing mark, that gets me, because I was using it on my other captain, because I remember the old revealing mark, how it used to be, but the new revealing mark has a once every 5 seconds cooldown on that heal that it procs. So it's nice because it does it for the group, but if you're the only one taking it, you can only be healed once every 5 seconds for 2% of your max morale, and it just felt really weak Whereas Noble Mark, I've been playing around with that, and when the enemy hits you, which usually they're doing more often than every 5 seconds, you restore 3% of your max morale, and the enemy only does 95% damage to you. Of course, the drawback to Noble Mark, it has two core drawbacks. One, it is shorter range, because I can do, Revealing Mark has a 40-meter range to apply. Noble Mark is only 25. And Noble Mark immediately draws aggro, whereas Revealing Mark, see, I just revealed the Crab Cast Mother, and it is not charging me. As soon as I put Noble Mark on it, it's aggroed on me. So you have to be a lot more strategic about when you can put Noble Mark on. So it is not a universal one-to-one for Revealing Mark. But I feel like it gets slept on by blue and red cappies because everybody remembers how Revealing Mark used to be. And I'm just wondering if I'm crazy.
What news has come in with the tide? What news has come in with the tide?
Universal Delving Power Potion. I won't say no to that. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Well, because Noble used to have also inherent threat to it, which it doesn't anymore. Noble Mark got reworked once a while back, and I think a lot of people also aren't thinking about that too. I mean, both of them are good. Revealing is awesome in a group because it heals everyone around the person who hits the mob. So you get a lot of bang for your buck if you've got melee piled around a big boss. Every 5 seconds, they're splashing everybody around them for 2% healing. Like, that is just insane throughput that you can get for functionally nothing, right? Okay, so let's see. That gives 5 of my tier 6 delvings. None of the rest of these I want to do at tier 6 on this captain if I can help it. Natural Disaster, however, is another one that is very manageable out here, because it should never be more than a 2-pull at any given point in time. So pop that to tier 6. And send in my archer, because everybody knows that she's actually the star of the show here. I really just am here to play support to my my heralds. I mean, I'm not entirely kidding. Like, a lot of the times on the captain, I feel like I am just here to play buff bot and support for my my archer. Now, to be fair, I do have it automatically using sure aim and barbed arrows. So both of those do draw a fair amount of aggro. And they're only on a 30-second and cooldown a piece. So there is that. But when you're spec'd for the... when you're spec'd for having all of the... where is it? Elite Companions is one of these, I think. Yeah, Elite Companions... and one of the other specs in here gives you increases to your companion's effectiveness. My archer does do a fair amount of damage. Like, I can let her solo these normal mobs. I'm not going to touch the mob. I'll put Noble Mark on it just to give the archer a bit of support. And it didn't really take the archer a whole lot to handle that mob. And this is a tier 6 delving mob. This time around, this is the archer doing it without having both of their shots right off cooldown, so they had to wait. And still, all I did was kick to interrupt Sauron's wrath. And the archer handled business. So literally, a lot of the time I really feel like I am just here to provide an extra dot for the archer. Did I miss an entire pull on my way in here? Oh, nope. These guys are just all clustered together. This is bad. All right, that could have gone really poorly if I did not have my oh shit cooldown. So I knew that there were 3 mobs still to get before the big tree spawns. I did not see that all 3 of them were stacked right on top of each other there. But that is what Cry of Fury is for. Now granted, it's on cooldown for the next 5 minutes, but it was absolutely worth using. Alright, so I might be covered in bees, but I killed the big tree. So yeah, natural disaster is another one of those missions that is pretty solid to do on delving difficulty if you're looking for something that you need controllable pulls on. Because unless you get a scenario like I just did where you couldn't tell until you actually pulled it, you had a 3 stack instead of 1 mob. Nothing in there should be more than 2 mobs at a time, and it should only be 1 signature and 1 normal difficulty. Where's my delving chest? Anything good? Ooh, okay, so that just absolutely made this worth it, because my delving chest gave me a Seafarer's flickering essence box. Oh, my bees! So this will let me get a purple level 514 essence to slot into a piece of gear. So I'm just going to take a look and see. I know some of these have yellow essences in them. Do I have... I know I should have essence reclamation scrolls. Yes, I do. That one's already got a flickering. That's a pair of humbles. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and yank out the essences from one of these pieces and start replacing them with purple. Oh, I will do it on one of the bracers because I don't have to mix and match. All right, so I pulled out a physical mitt. So I'm going to replace the yellow physical mitt that was in here with a purple physical mitt. So that is solid. That gives me 2379 physical mitt in that slot as opposed to 2246. So basically an extra 1,000 and change physical mitt by being able to replace one of my yellow essences with a purple that just came from a dropped box from that mission. You don't get these you don't get the flickering essence boxes very often as dropped rewards, but when you do, I'm not going to complain. And I don't think you can buy them yet
Do you have need of something?
with delving currency. Nope, you can still just buy the level 140 pieces, so crap. Yeah, and that's really one of the things that I've been looking to do. So I want to keep doing the wrappers so that I can get Embers of Enchantment to get more of this account bound teal gear, because we can't get them out of the delvings right now. They still don't have proper gear coming out of the delvings because we don't have our missions and or our new instances. So there's no delving gear to put in there as equivalent. So being able to get Embers to get the teal gear from Embers, and on top of that, getting a good essence drop, like, that's double dipping. Now, I need 4 more delvings if I'm going to get this wrapper this week on the character. So, knock on wood, something good is up in Andrath. But I have a feeling that I think the last 2 days have been Nettenglade and Tombs of Gondor Call. So I think today is the crappy day for missions. Yep. I don't particularly like any of those. So I think that with this rotation, Clegger is going to be the only one that's going to have good missions. Hearn might have one. Yeah, Clegger is going to have Jaws of Death, Aberrations of Nature, and not as many heads. So all three of these are good, solid choices.
Might I speak with you a moment?
Which just leaves me finding one more to do and pick up. Okay, and need to refresh my scrolls and food. I will definitely be happy when we get our new instance and raid cluster in and I can really start proper gearing my characters again. Man, that disease every time is just nasty. I have to sit there and waste my cleanse just on it. The Jaws of Death is nice because there's only usually one pull in here that can get problematic depending on what malices there are for the day. And that's because there's one pull that you cannot, unless you get just stupid lucky, do as a 2 pull. It's just inherently a 3 pull. But I don't think that with any of today's malices that would matter, because it's just going to be damage reflect and the disease, and that's not going to stack. So as long as I stay out of bat on the ground, I should be fine. I'll let the archer take care of the wolf, and I'll just go here and do the quest objectives. Reasons it's good to be a captain. Oh, but the archer still has the disease. So interestingly, yeah, they can absolutely put that disease on your summons too. That's kind of nasty. So this pull here, every once in a while that back warg doesn't pull, but this is basically inherently a 3 pull. Whoop, and I got a little bit too close. But judicious application of banner and stun, and we are good. Yeah, once again, I am so much happier with the captains since they got their balance patch. Of course, I'm also really happy with the Guardian after the balance patch as well. I think they did a really good job on that overall. So maybe they just have have a good balanced team working and going through those at SSG these days. Because for the classes that I play semi-regularly, pretty much 2 for 2 on solid updates there. Oh, that was the worst. I had the movement speed cripple, a bleed, and the daunting disease. And what did muster courage purge? It purged crippled. Like, the one that I'd be okay with. Like, I don't care if I'm moving a little bit slower. Just, you know, I could deal without the reduced health and the bleed, thanks. Yeah, I had a 1 in 3 chance there, and of course, I drew the short straw. That'll happen.
Just a moment.
Ooh, nice. So I've got a twofer on good rewards from delving boxes today. This one had 150 embers of enchantment in it. So that doesn't suck. In the meantime, I need to make a little bit of room here. Because I am absolutely not managing my inventory well. Oh, part of that is because I do not have my task item carry-all on this character. Carry-alls, don't leave home without them. All right, much better. But I am capped on delving writs again.
Did you need something?
So right now, about the only thing that is worth spending delving writs on, unfortunately, you can still buy morale potions with them. So I'm gonna turn my quick slot lock off so I can actually put that there. I'm gonna spend a quick 750 writs and get some potions, because this character will actually use them.
Hello. Please, stay.
All right, so Aberrations of Nature is another one that is solid and controllable overall. Nothing should be more than a 2 pull. And the trolls are helpful sometimes because they will actually knock you out of their AoEs. Which is just always kind of funny. definitely going to take a break to heal up here for a minute. Oh, and these guys are even going to thoughtfully separate themselves and make this into a pair of single poles. How nice of them. I'll just let the archer finish that. She's got this. And should be two last trolls walking together off this way.
What do you need?
Alright, so the only real reward there on that one was another one of the delving power potions, but that doesn't suck because they're account bound and I definitely have characters that absolutely chew through power. So, power potions, not the worst thing in the world.
Can I take a moment of your time?
Right, not as many heads is not a bad one to do as well. Have to be a little bit careful on some of the pulls. But it basically is just a straight up bandit camp, kill X number of enemies. Come on, go get him. There you go. Good archer. For these non-signature mobs, I'm probably just going to go ahead and let the disease stay on unless I get a second debuff. Because the 30% health loss is not going to be the end of the world. And I'd rather save my cooldowns for other stuff. Did I miss the walker or no? Apparently he hasn't come through yet. Or we might have tent mobs and not a walker. I know sometimes that can be the pattern of the mob I'm expecting to see as a walker is actually parked in a tent. That's what happens when you get way too used to the patterns in some of these. It's one change and you're just absolutely out of whack. Okay, good. The archer did not... Oh, here he is. He's just really taking his time. This is the guy I was expecting to see as a walker all the way down on the other side of the hill. The bottom. I guess it was nap time. Oh, and Lieutenant is in this camp here, so... Oh. Going right in. All right, at this point it should just be the captain left, and they're just going to keep aggroing from full range, so it's one of those delvings. And yes, my luck continues to not hold, or hold as bad, whichever it is, which is instead of being by himself out by the campfire there, the captain's in here with his two buddies. So, gotta do all three of them at once, which means eat up real quick, so I got some health regen. And then send in the archer and let her do her work. So I will see if I can just have her take out the other archer real quick. And there we go. Once again, my archer absolutely carrying the day.
Hello.
All right, so enjoy dinner, and thanks for hanging out. It's always good seeing you around.
Is there something I can do for you?
I need to find one more delving that I want to do at tier 6. I definitely do not want to do before they bond, because that is just an absolute shit show of wolves and archers. So that is a hard pass. I'm hoping that there will be something good in Hearn that won't be a crappy delving to run.
Hello there.
Let's see. Cardinal and Hearn. So it would be really nice to be able to get this 10 spot done before the reset tonight. Oh, hang on a second. It is Tuesday, not Wednesday. I have all day tomorrow as well once the servers come back up. I have a day longer than I thought I did on these wrappers. All of these are kind of crap, to be frank.
Words, traveler. Might you spare a moment of your time?
Yeah, all of these ones here
Mind my words, traveler.
are really easy to get overrun in. Ruins might be decent. I'm going to give this one a whack and see. But the problem is when you get up onto the platform, the large platform. Oh, nope, this is not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of, I'm getting my names of these mixed up. This is just defeating 15 brigands in the lower level spot. This is doable. I pull back out my cannon and immediately get jumped, but it's fine. Okay, apparently my archer actually took a bit of a beating there. Let's see, you've got 2 to the right, 2 to the left. And the outlaw and the archer have the potential, if they pull, to pull that entire little area from both sides. So I'm going to let the outlaw get all the way towards me here so that he does not bring his buddies from both sides. Because that can easily be an accidental full room pull there. Love having the rallying cry stun from yellow line on this build. That AoE stun is really nice when you are not a terribly survivable character. Alright, so still got at least one more on the lower level. Here you are. Oh, and one all the way off by their lonesome over here. Where are you at? So 4 more, and they're probably all up on the platform up top. One of them's coming down the stairs, it looks like. Nope. They're patrolling the back side of the stairs. But I should be able to get these two taken care of before they patrol back around. And my archer did in fact die to bleeds, but she carried me while she was alive. And I can resummon her. And that's 15 of 15. I think on this one the scout meets me in the middle here. Oh, nope. It's another one where it's off to the side. But that is awesome because that means I got my 10 spot weekly wrapper done on this character before the reset, well before the reset.
What can I do for you?
Okay, check the chest. Another power potion, nothing special, but doesn't suck. And Delve into Darkness weekly gives me 250 more writs, which is a good thing that I spent some of mine, so I'm no longer capped. Because it's really easy right now to sit at cap and just be losing writs. 500 Embers of Enchantment, a legendary and an incomparable rune, and 1,000 virtue XP. So doing 10 tier 6 writs a week is solidly worth it, because that is a stupid amount of rewards.
How can I be of service?
And let's see how close I am to getting recapped on writs. I've still got 400 and some of headroom, so not bad at all. And that is gonna be probably the last thing I do tonight on this character, so I am going to put the champion's gear that I stole back into the bank. And he'll never know that I had it. There's absolutely no evidence that anybody was using his gear. And put my running around gear back on. At some point in time, my goal is to have on at least a handful of characters, if not most of them, all their own sets of full nice teal and purple gear, but that's a lot of embers down the road. for right now, I've got characters that share a lot of that gear, which thankfully is account bound, so I can do that. And did I do... Yep, I did tasks today. So task carry all goes back away. And I can park this character and move on to the next. And my cooldown timer is up on ingredient crates. Lotro is making up its mind whether it wants to actually go to character select or crash. I give it about 50-50 odds. So now it's a question of which of my other characters have not finished their wrappers. So I'm going to bounce onto the Guardian real quick and see where they are. Okay, let's take a look. So this character's basic mission wrappers. Okay, apparently I've just been doing the story and other things hardcore on this character because they still have mission wrappers from before they hit 150, which, oops. But I can at least knock out a few of those tier 6s on this character. As much as I love the Guardian, they're a lot of fun to DPS on, etc. Which I know sounds really silly, but I spend a lot of time playing both my champion and my Guardian. And if I actually had my way and was given my choice of what to do on each, I would tank on my champion and DPS on my Guardian. But Guardian does have an absolute weak spot, in Redline especially, which is their self-healing and self-sustain is just kind of trash. So that is something that I am going to be running up against when I'm playing this character here, is that I do not have a whole lot of self-heals at my disposal. So I'm absolutely going to poach that gear back. Hey Nasser, welcome on in. How goes? I play on the Landreval server. So it's kind of the casual community and goof off focused server for Lotro. Okay, that gives me a quick little gear bump there. Love stealing my champion's gear. Again, he'll never know that a hobbit was wearing it. Like, we're totally fine here. Apparently, I have been sorely neglecting consumables on this character, too. Ooh, yeah, badly, because I apparently have still been using Gundabad stuff, not Umbari stuff. Nobody saw that. Let's see, bacon wrapped sprouts. Oh, I might not have any good beetroots. Okay, well, I still have those, and that'll do in a pinch. So those Gundabad scrolls can just go back into the bank, and I can pretend that I have not still been using them on this Guardian. Alright, so I know that Andrath's missions today are garbage. So I'm just not even going to look there. But I know that Cleggers are decent.
Hello there.
Can I go to Mossword from this stable master? I thought I could. Ah, there it is, down there at the bottom. I saw it. Mossword.
What can I do for you? Might I have a word with you?
And now we get to see how much more a Guardian struggles compared to a Redline Cappy on these. Granted, I don't think that my Guardian is quite as well geared overall in some of the gaps compared to my Captain, but still, the the lack of sustain that a Redline Guardian has compared to even the kind of semi-nerfed Redline Captain on that front is going to be noticeable here. Although the Guardian does hit like an absolute truck when I get to hit. Which is why I love DPSing on the Guard. Because after the revamp, Redline is just a wrecking crew. If they would stop knocking me back. But it's that lack of sustain and when I get stuck in a spot. That is absolutely the thing that does me in. If I get anything that roots me in that damage there, I have nothing to mitigate it if, you know, I don't have something on cooldown or if I'm animation locked. And again, I can make absolute short work of these guys compared to what the captain can do. But at the same time, they can make short work of me. Okay, Dread token is almost off cooldown. That will help a lot. Dying right after I popped the token sucked losing that buff. This might be by himself. Nope, he's just going over to his friend there, of course. Here, trolley. Sit down. That disease is nasty because even at full health, it's basically like giving them a one hit that just ticks down a third of my health. Alright, so not bad. One death, and it was somewhat to misadventure. Could have been a lot worse.
Is Is there something I can do for you? Just a moment.
That is a heck of an armor set right there with some weirdly mismatched pieces, but I love it. Like, I wonder if they're planning on dyeing it and they're putting the pieces together, or if they just really like that dark plus metallic combo. Oh, but I want to know that back item, that shield. That's not the outfit they're wearing. What outfit are they in? Okay, it's this one here. So that back item is Shield of the Thillian Wanderer. It's the Thillian Winter. I need to figure out where that comes from, or at least make note of it, because it looks kind of cool. Okay, so that is a Yule Festival item. Gotcha. So I just probably have simply never looked at that one in the cosmetic items. It's a back item, not the actual shield. So it's kind of like Shield of the Hammer Hand. Interesting.
Might I have a word with you?
Right, Jaws of Death. We get to go play with the puppies. Another thing I've been doing is I am keeping an eye on LFF and World Chat just to see if people are putting together instance groups for the current featured instance, because that is Glingant this week. Unfortunately, most of the people who are advertising as looking for group on it are also running it as delvings to get the 2-for-1, to get the weekly group delving, and I just hate that place. Well, I hate it as is. I really hate it on delving difficulty, so I'm not throwing my hat in the ring if people are going to do that place as a delving if I can help it. So I was really hoping that more people would be playing it non-delving this week, but it doesn't seem like it's getting a lot of love. Here, puppy, come away from your friends. And this is where you have that moment of, am I the baddie? Where I just pulled the dog away from its support system so that I could isolate it and get it to do what I wanted, which was, in this case, die. So now I feel bad. I am, in fact, the bad guy here. Okay, good. That guy's single pulled. Solid. Every once in a while, this guy will drag his buddy with him. But this, again, is where I just really wish that Guardian had better, more controllable, not relying on relatively long cooldowns. Like, I've got Thrill of Danger and Warrior's Heart, so that's a 1 minute and a 2-minute cooldown, and then periodically one of my parry responses, Catch Breath, is another. I think that is on a 30-second cooldown. These guys, I'm just going to blow cooldowns to kill. Yeah, Catch Breath is a 45-second cooldown, I think, because I have it reduced. Like, all of the Guardians' self-heal, self-sustain is coming from some form of spending a cooldown. And none of them are quick cooldowns either. So when you start spiraling down, you don't have a whole lot to pull yourself out of that. But on the other hand, I can do that. Big hammer. Plus, the captain does not have brutal charge, which is seriously one of the best abilities in the game. It is absolutely overpowered in some aspects, and it is hilarious on a small race because you just look so silly when you're running at full Redline Guardian traded brutal charge speed.
Is there something I can do for you? Hello.
Okay, so neither one of those delving chests gave me anything particularly interesting. One of them gave me another power potion and a box of crafting gems, which I need to start actually opening some of these. Oh, that's a selectable one, so you can stay. Yeah, help get some of that garbage out of my inventory.
Can I take a moment of your time?
Okay, set to tier 6, refresh scrolls, because there are definitely going to be some fights in here I'm going to want them on. And charge. Apparently it charged straight into lag. Which, that'll happen. kind of like running right through the cloud of poison to just poke the bandit and then run right back out of it while the bandit dies. Okay, hopefully that little lag spike is over and things calm down. Use up as much of our brutal charge speed as I can running around. Oh, it's worn off. Dang it. Okay, so this time around, we have a tent bandit down here. It's probably one of the lieutenants, I'm gonna guess. Can't quite get close enough to click on. Yep, okay, so one of the lieutenants is in the tent there. Does that make him a lieutenant? Alright, that's one of the two lieutenants down. So if I got this pattern, I think that the captain and the other lieutenant are probably going to be outside by the fire. And I absolutely let that guy get Sauron's wrath off. That was just lazy of me. I really should be better. Yeah, because this camp down here... Oh, this camp down here does have the other lieutenant, so it's the oddball pattern of two early lieutenants. But that's what they make AoEs for. Alright, now I should just need to find the captain, who should be off by himself. There he is. And this one will be done. Really? Jerk. Just for that, hammer. See ya.
Is there something I can do for you? Just a moment.
Okay, so that puts me 5 of 10. And let's see, I believe Jack's Finale I can sail. Oh no, I know what I want to do first. Take a break from doing missions real quick. And head out to Bel Inzul and see who's running the bounties out there.
Fair winds to you.
Because this is at least a nice little mini change of pace from running delvings. Apparently I did not finish the bounties last time I was on this character because I only have 2 I can pull from the board. Which makes me wonder... Yep, I must have gotten distracted. So I see a few people hanging around, but they're all hanging out more by the sign than by over here. So I'm just going to head out and then see if other people roll out with me, or if I meet people at the bounty mobs. I usually figure if I start with the salamander, if people are going to roll out, then they'll catch up by then. And somebody has very clearly just been through here. So, see if I can catch him at the crab. Nope, apparently they killed the crab already too. Okay, let's see if I can catch him at the Proto Beast. Or if I'm going to make an entire circuit and miss out on them at each and every spot, which is possible. So I am 0 for 3. The beast is down. And they're killing the bird. So I'll at least get a tag on the bird. So maybe I'll get lucky and these guys left the tree for last, so I'll at least have company for 2 of the mobs. Looks like this guy is going up the hill, so he's probably headed to the tree. Mr. Tree, I would really like you to stop standing in me. It's just really weird. Alright, so now I've got to go all the way back around to the salamander. Pick back up there. And see if I get lucky again on having folks around, or... oh. Excellent. So me and this mini will take the salamander down. And looks like they're also headed to the crab next. So that's good. Got company at least for a couple of these guys. I hope he was headed to the crab. I hope he wasn't headed up to the tree, because he's not going to find it there. He's not at the moment. Alright, had to blow a few cooldowns on that one, but it's the crab, that's to be expected. Crab is always my nemesis of these mobs. Okay, there is the Proto Beast down, so that is all of mine. But I know this guy was just starting out with a salamander most likely, so I do not mind following him and helping him kill the other two. We're just gonna blow this guy the heck up. That's what they make cooldowns for. Womp. I do wish that these two, Relentless Fury and Cataclysmic Shout, weren't quite such long cooldowns. The 2 and 3 minute cooldowns do kind of hurt. Okay, so he is going off someplace on his own. I do not know where that dude is headed. So I'm gonna head back to town and turn these two in. Figure I did the nice thing. I stuck around an extra mob, but he was headed off into God knows where, so I am not going to follow him and his train of mobs.
Hoi. It is a fine day indeed. It is a fine day indeed. Hoi! Fair winds to you.
Okay, so I do have the task carry all on this character, right? Did I pull it out? Yes, I did. Okay, excellent. So even though this character is at the level cap, so technically gaining experience does not gain me character experience, task XP still goes towards your legendary items reward track, which is a little less than 2 weeks away from finishing up the current track. And even though I have long since wrapped it, I've been using these anything you get over the 100 mark, you just get these coffers of legendary items, which most of the time just gives you legendary script. So I have pulled hundreds of these off of the current track, because that's a great way to just build up currency and build out allies on new characters or characters that just hit a level requirement where you've got to reforge and rebuild allies. So you can pull thousands and thousands of script out of those. Right, that little sidetrack done. And yes, I can't go directly to Umbar, of course. I need to go back to Halrax, and from here to Umbar Baharbel. There's no non-stop. So I'm probably just going to do a couple of the delvings on this character. Going to be even more cherry picking than the captain, just again because it's easy to get overwhelmed on a Redline Guardian. So in here, Beast of Belphilus is always a solid pick. Activate that at tier 6. Check my buffs, and they're good enough for now. And wait for the lizards to spawn in. There you are. One thing that is really common in delvings is that the enemies very regularly have a higher aggro range than normal. So taking out an extra side mob or two to make sure that you have a clear path to where you need to be can be really beneficial. Because a lot of the time you can end up in a scenario where you're pretty sure you can just skirt past a mob that you know you've done on normal difficulty or even a lower delving difficulty dozens of times. And tier 6, tier 7, it's going to turn its head, see you, and just come say hi. And if you were not planning on that mob being part of your current pull at the time, that can be bad. I was going to say, for a second there, I thought that that had magically become a single pull there, but his buddy was just really slow. And of course, he put that poison spit all over the passage through here, so I'm just going to have to sit here and wait that out a minute. That's just disgusting and rude. And done. Gonna let that lizard come try and bite me, but I'm already on my way out. Poor lizard. Wait for the NPC to catch up with me. There you are.
What's to be done, and here are hands by which to do it.
And what's in the chest? What's in the chest is that Umbar Baharbel is laggy today. Okay, nothing particularly useful, just my 20 writs and a box of delving crafting ore. Yay.
Do you have need of something? What news has come in with the tide?
So the plan is I want to do a couple more of these and then swap over to the minstrel and keep working on leveling that character. Might do the end of the Gundabad storyline, or I might do just some side quests to get him to 140 or close to it, because I'm pretty sure he's 138 right now. And it would be nice to get him to 140 or close to 140, because at that point I think I still have a bunch of the 140 delving gear in a light armor just hanging around that I could basically just use as hand-me-downs for him for a little while and give him a nice little power bump. And even though that 140 gear is the kind of stuff that you do replace as you level through the Song of Waves and Wind and, King's Gondor stuff, for in Gundabad and finishing out that story content, that would be a nice little boost. I let my food run out. That's why I'm not regenning morale as fast as I was expecting to. And I let the crab eat me, apparently. Okay. Note to self, pay slightly more attention. I mean, not all the attention, like we know that's not going to happen, but just slightly more. Like 5% more attention would be good. That one I cut a little bit closer than I intended to. But hey, being down to 400 morale is just fine. Right? How did that miss the great crab? That is absolute bunk. That should have caught both of them in the stun. And one more crab trap and a bonus giant crab here because he's gonna come say hi anyway. And that should, there we go, summon the, oh, seriously? You added from there. Okay, now take 2 of the crab mother after I get my health back. Because that hunter just decided it had to come and eat me.
May you spare a moment?
Okay, so that puts me at 7 of 10 on the wrapper for this character, which is pretty solid.
What news has come in with the tide?
And what the heck, I'll do one more, do natural disaster again on this.
What news has come in with the tide?
And then I'll switch over to the minstrel and finish things out. Really wish that Brutal Charge was back so I'd have my charge stun, but no such luck. Not really sure how chopping down trees works with a club, but apparently that's what I'm doing. I should be able to pull this dude away from his buddies. I think that leaves me... Yeah, I have not gotten a lot of the Wildwoods yet, so I've got a lot of signature mobs still left to go through. Apparently I just got all the easy ones stacked up front. Right, once again we hammer the tree down. It's perfect, do not question the logic. Ha, you can't Sauron's Wrath me if I'm behind a tree. Let's see, I have 2 of each type left. Now we play the game of, is it another stack of 3 of them that are moving all at once? 1, 2... I have the sneaking feeling that that is 3. Yep, that is 3. And they are moving in a clump. So, this is where we're going to use cooldowns. Alright, not bad. I basically absolutely blew all my good cooldowns, aside from Thrill of Battle on that guy. Or those guys, rather. But got all 3 of them down. And it's just the big guy to go. So I'm going to wait out Brutal Charge being back up and run in, stun him, and start blasting. got him.
May you spare a moment?
Spare a moment, but I apparently can't spare any inventory slots because this is looking embarrassing. It is way past time to clean this character's inventory out. Alright, so that gets me to 8 of 10 for my weekly mission wrapper for delvings, so that's solid. And at least making headway on the normal mission wrappers. Think I already grabbed ingredients? Yes. Okay, so before I go and change characters, whoops, that doesn't go there. Put that in the correct chest. That goes in that chest. All right. Yeah, still wearing a piece of 140 jewelry. Don't look at that. Nobody saw that. Okay, still wearing way too much 140 gear on this character in their normal loadout. So I definitely need to get some of the Embers box rings that I can use. Yeah, exactly. Nobody saw the jewelry that this character is using in their normal, everyday loadout. Absolutely, they're not still using that gear that's 10 levels old. And they're certainly not using multiple pieces of it. Okay, gonna bounce over to the mini real quick and see what is around me in Gundabad. So yeah, I left him off at level 138. I'm curious to see how close to 139. I want to see where his XP bar is sitting. So a little over halfway through. That's not too shabby. I should, I think, have a decent amount of Gundabad task items. Yes, I do. All that Frost Rime stuff. So I've got stuff out in Kerbronic, but that is already dropped down to dark blue. So probably I think what I'm going to do is see if I can bounce into steep set from here.
How can I be of service?
Yep, there we go. And I believe that there are some quests just kind of hanging around outside here. Yeah, I'm not going to do the prospecting quest, though. That's its own whole thing. Okay. Cave beasts, claws. Then the name guy, nah. That's right, I forgot that steep set is mostly all these group and small fellowship quests. Ah. I know what I can do to grab a little bit of XP here. We're going to go play with the psychedelic toads. Still one of my absolute favorite instances. And we'll set it to 139 because I have a feeling I'm going to level while I'm in there. I'm going to go lick some toads.
Lies the den of Puchlak, the realm of the deepest of the deep toads.
First off, we fight off the goblins who are under the influence. And as you kill them, they say, "Where am I?" So it doesn't at all make you feel like the bad guy. And then the magical psychedelic sphincter has opened to let us through, so that's a perfect sign that we should go and follow the path. And first little mini boss here is a lobstery, crabby thing. We should be able to just make short work of. Because the Red Line Minstrel, it's a lot of things. And they can be a bit squishy, but you hit like a damn truck. Right, the toad licking is starting to kick in at this point. I've taken a couple hits and the colors are getting weird. Right, down deeper into the cave. The colors are now very weird. So this is all perfectly normal here. There is nothing strange at all, and we have a giant toad, Puklak. So This will, of course, be a very straightforward boss fight. Nothing weird here in the psychedelic layer of the mystical otherworldly toad. I'll just pull him here. We'll start doing some damage, get some healing going, and oh god, he glowed purple and everything changed. And there's a strange psychedelically colored giant elephant. So this is perfectly normal. So I am back in, I want to say Osgiliath. Yeah, I think this is a memory of Osgiliath. So, yeah. Again, perfectly normal. Psychedelic Osgiliath. Everything is fine. Where are we now? I'm still trying to figure out exactly where this place is. I don't 100% recognize it. So you're fighting thunderstorms and whirlwinds. Okay, this I'm pretty sure is Wells of Langvold? I think it's one of the villages out in that direction.
What have you done?
Alright, now should be able to finish Puglak off. And did indeed level to 139 from that. So his chest is... oh yeah, I think through here? A weird little tucked away area where you get the chest for this one. Loot, where's my loot? That's where I came in, so it's gotta be this way. Yep, okay. I was just completely turned around. So let's see, where have I skipped through? Or do I want to just go out into Clothing Gap, Welkin Lofts? Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to go bounce into Welkin Lofts. Being 139 puts me pretty solidly in the right spot for finishing this quest and not having the mobs be red or orange. That's what I'm thinking, at least. All right, so here is Prince Durin and some of the dwarves, but not enough dwarves.
Some dwarves have arrived, but not enough. Not nearly enough.
Right, so our task while waiting for the dwarves to show up here is to go thin the herd and maybe remove some distractions that are keeping the dwarves from showing up. So we're going to kill some orcs and some Angarum. Usually there's some right on the other side of this little section here. If I'm thinking of the right place, yes, okay. So usually on the other side of the walls here, there are Angarum who are up to no good, like this guy right here. So, 2 for 1, get quest credit and stop them from doing whatever weird shiny purple stuff they're doing, which just cannot be a good thing. Whatever they're doing is highly sketchy. Oop, there's a orc right there. Pick up a little extra. See, Cold Drake, don't need him for any quests, but here is another one of our cultists. So these spots out here where you've got cultists trying to breach the walls are usually an easy 3 or 4, like all in a static location. And apparently I pulled friends. So it at least saves a little bit of time of the running around the zone trying to find mobs by the 1 and by the 2. Because that's always the worst, is when you have a whole zone to search through and you get 1 here, 1 there. Now I can get 4 right here. And we got some more hobgoblins here, so should put me to 4 and 4. And there might be some more over here, but nope. No such luck. This dude is already back, so that was not the yeah, I know, but the thing is, it's free. So especially if it's a Valard character and you don't want to do all the Moria nonsense to get one of the good goats. I mean, I'm out here. I could ride my my green skeleton horse. You know, I could do that. Is that better? Weird bird minstrel on a skeleton horse. All right, well, I'm glad it meets your approval. Don't think I'm going to get lucky on any of the other respawns here, however. Oh, nope, this guy did pop back up. There we go. So I've got 7 of 8 cultists. And there's lots of places around here where you can get orcs in decent concentration. The cultists are the ones that are a right pain to get. So if you can get 2 spawn circuits of the of this like outside area here, and you get 2 groups of 4, you can get all the engram you need for this quest without hassle. Now, basically there's a whole bunch of other places I can get orcs, and I can get them by the group. So what you up to tonight, Poteen? You streaming later, or is this a night off for you? Just enjoying your break in Lothlorien now that you're done with Moria. So for anybody who, for some weird reason, has not watched Poteen, he he just finished up doing a thing where he's leveling 1 of each class in tandem through, like, you know, keeping them within a level range of each other, and he just finished getting them all through Moria and hitting 60 so that they can go out into Lothlorien. So if you want to talk about dedication to leveling as a craft, this man is absolutely silly. Like, I might have a handful of high-level characters, but he leveled 1 of every class in tandem through Moria. That is weeks and weeks and weeks of Moria. Okay, there is my 10:10. Stop and wave at whoever the heck that was. Somebody else doing the Gundabad storyline, I'm gonna guess. Right, so now I'm going to go check it back in with Durin and let him know. All right, we've removed some distractions. Maybe with fewer orcs and cultists, the other dwarves that you're expecting to show up won't be sidetracked and will actually get here. I got a few more.
It is time for Dweromut. Are you ready, my friend?
All right, so we're, as an elf, going to participate in the Dweromut.
Longbeard,
Perfectly fine.
Yaruka, Stout Axes, hear me now. I call for Dweromut. All of you know why we are here. This is a sacred place. A dwarf place. This is Gundabad.
And again, I just love that, unlike Moria, which is largely variations on the same type of areas, Gundabad has these outdoor areas like this too, where, you know, caves lead in and out, but they've got this whole other section. It's such good design. Alright, our job here is to stand back and watch. And look cool. But Mozog has shown up and everybody is starting to wonder what the hell Durin is doing. But, of course, the Gelrika are always troublemakers. Who could have seen that coming?
Most of us have known only stories of the mountain home. But those tales are as well known to us as the names of our near kin. I called for dwarves to take back Gundabad. Not just Longbeards, but dwarves. And this be the response. Dwarves of every clan, from the far reaches of Middle-earth. Can anything be more clear than this? Hear me now. Gundabad belongs not only to the Longbeards, but to all dwarves. Is this not so, Ingor?
Aye, Durin. This is wisdom indeed. Some among my people doubted you would see it. Not I, of course.
So here we've got Durin working the crowd.
What is that? The dragon.
Foolish insects. Everything you have done has been to my design.
Lies!
It was I who whispered poison into the ears of your prince beside the anvil of Winterstone.
We get the dragon's eye view here of the dwarves down on the platform there, i.e. a target-rich environment for a dragon.
Now, it will be the death of his people.
Heed not the voice of the dragon. These falsehoods have no power over me, worm. And neither do you. For I am Durin the Seventh, the Durin of old, reborn anew.
It matters not. The armies I command do not have the will to resist my voice.
Anytime there's enough orcs incoming that you can hear their footsteps from through the mountain pass, that's bad.
Mil frost hearts.
But here's Mozog and his hammer.
How is this possible?
And he was right. Premil is shit scared of that hammer, even after all these years.
What just happened? How is it you wield that hammer? What is your name, stranger?
He is a dwarf, and he fights for Gundabad. That is enough.
All right, so we've chased off the dragon for the moment, but we know that there's still orcs incoming. Like, that is still a scenario that very much has to be dealt with.
Krimil's armies approach. Now, the fate of Gundabad will be decided. Mozog must reach the peak.
All right, so now it's to the peak.
Our time is running short.
It's time to go confront a dragon.
Two of you must reach the peak.
All right, so Durin's forces have basically cleared the way for us. Let's go.
Friend of Durin.
Come on, Mozog, finish up your orc quicker. Look, you're letting a minstrel out kill you here, man. Run quicker. I mean, you're not Sarah Oakard or anything, but I'd appreciate it if you moved quicker.
We must reach the top before the setting of the sun.
Okay, up the mountain we go. And we get a little weird thing that Lotro has not really done before, which is a fixed camera perspective of like this, where you're now piloting your character from a very long distance and basically having to use your WASD to steer your character while looking at him from all the way up here. It's a little weird, but it's very cool and cinematic. Like, somebody at Standing Stone was really having fun playing with the design of this place. Come on, Mozog, catch up. Alright, so we are nearly there, Mozog says. I will face the dragon, but I will need you to stand against her minion. Can you do this?
Then come, friend of Durin. While there is still time left.
Right, it is time. Go play with the dragon. But again, Mozog only has enough life left, because this is his last day, because he left the tomb. He has until the sun sets.
What are you doing here?
So we do have a bit of a time crunch.
Did I not warn you, Ruveron?
This is the Blackstone
Hi,
Anvil.
dragon.
Durin.
It belongs to me now, and will be the centerpiece of Angmar's ascension.
So now we also know where the Blackstone, the anvil went that was taken from the island that Durin awakened on, that was missing from the forge there.
Down the mountain.
The Angram did indeed have it, but they brought it all the way up here.
The enemies of Angmar will be swept away.
Stand aside. I have business with your master.
The dragon is not my master. I serve Angmar, now and forever!
Alright, so our job here is to defeat these guys. And we want to make it so that Motsog can get safely to confront the dragon.
We must hurry. These cultists have delayed us too long.
And here's Gorgar, our old buddy.
I remember you, dwarf. How is it you still live?
I fight for Durin, the true lord of Gundabad.
So as soon as this goes live, I think our job is, if I remember right, is to keep Gorgar active while Motsog takes on the dragon.
This is some foul dwarf magic. I want nothing to do with it. Slay him yourself.
Gorgar, I command it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Not join my brother in death for you.
I totally forget. He wants to bail.
You cannot refuse.
No! No!
And now we have the orcish temper tantrum. Alright, so there's something about the anvil, and I do not remember what it is. It might be in this part, it might be in the dragon fight. So I'm gonna come over here by it. Oh, but the sun just went down. So
Minions are slain. Remil Frostheart.
Motsog is a little too late.
With you.
Gorgar did his job technically and
Straight
delayed us.
I have strength enough to slay you, worm.
Whatever sorcery keeps you alive has nearly fled.
And Motsog is on his last legs
I have
here.
only to wait.
And the dragon's a jerk and can fly away.
See how weak you become.
Friend of Durin, follow me.
What are you trying to do?
Right, come on, Motsog. You can make it?
Hiding will avail you nothing.
You can do it.
Stand behind the anvil.
Right, so this is where we stand behind the anvil, that's right.
I can reach you from here.
And that protects us from the frost breath, but Motsog is basically just taking it.
You doing?
All I can!
Well, he didn't quite finish off the dragon, but he dropped a piece of a mountain on her and got her scared off.
The dragon's cowardly escape has broken the spirit of her armies.
So we injured the dragon badly, and that gives us what we need to retake Gundabad.
Let all take up the cheer. Gundabad is ours.
Now we get to go check in with all of our dwarf buds, Prince Ingor.
Has agreed that the Shelruka will have a place in Gundabad, and I am satisfied.
So the Jelruka are being welcomed into the new Gundabad.
We have done it!
And Glowin, as ever, is practical. Enjoy the victory, but prepare for the next. And Bosie.
Victory! Gundabad is ours.
And Bosie says, during the battle, while you made your way to the peak, I thought I saw my cousin fighting alongside you. Right, now we go check in with more dwarves.
Should have seen it.
And Bori, of course, thought it was a great battle.
When we set out from Scarhold, did you think this is where our journey would lead?
Yeah, Venko and Imak.
Are all such Duero moods so eventful?
So this is kind of cool because this is really like tying the Stout Axe dwarves into really being properly brought back into an active dwarvish spot here with the Duero mood and then into Gundabad. And Broen and Fastrith.
When first I came to Elderslade, I asked you to keep a secret for me. Do you remember?
So Broen says, I feared I did not have the courage to fight another war like the one that claimed my father. But then I saw Fastrith standing near, and a great courage rushed through me, a courage I never thought I could have again. I raised my axe, and without a word the two of us set upon the approaching orcs, and our battle dance was like nothing I had ever experienced. So, dwarvish courtship, basically, is what we're seeing unfold here.
You made it.
As for us, it turns out that Broen and I complement each other in battle fairly well. And again, she's talking about, I should like to immortalize this battle in stone. Picture this, me and dear Broen, back to back, axes at the ready, while a whirlwind of orcs and hobgoblins encircle us. Our foes are carved from a single sweep of the rock, with no telling where one enemy ends and another begins. And for a name, perhaps I shall call it the Courtship. Fastrith blushes suddenly. Well, perhaps. We will see. These two are just such goofballs, and I love it. And Stolly the Healer is a jerk as always. He really wants to know who we were with and who Motsag was, and we're not going to tell him. So now we're going to go all the way down the slope and catch up with Motsag. Who is watching the sunset for basically one last time. And we get an awesome view from up here.
My day is nearly up, friend of my friend.
So yeah, his last day that he was let out in the world is nearly up. The sun's going down. And we leave him to peace. And go check back in with Durin.
I must thank you again, my friend, for all your help.
So we get our choice of level 140 cloaks here. Go ahead and choose the Will Cloak. And this is the equipment version, and you also get 2 cosmetic cloaks that are the same thing, one hooded and one without the hood. This is really one of the only cloak models in the game that I legitimately like. And it's actually the one that I wear on my Hobbit Guardian. Cosmetically. Because it's level 140.
Where has Mozart gone? I wish to speak with him before the day was ended.
Alright, so Durin wants to catch Mozart for one last conversation before the big day is over. So we're going to return down to the tomb. I think... Does it kick us out of the instance, or do we have to ride? I don't remember if we have an actual travel available
Where
to
has
us.
Mozart gone? I wish to speak with him before the day was ended.
No, we got to do a little bit of hoofing it. And of course we can't mount up here. So I have to run down to the portal. Now we can mount. Let's see, how far out are we? A ways. Because we're all the way at the point where we set up the ambush originally. So, gonna have to go back to the stable master there. Or, more appropriately, gonna cheat and use a travel skill. So this will take us back to Noblegate, and from Noblegate we can ride to Bargstad. Because Bargstad will take us to where we need to be, or as close as we can actually get to it. Still got a bit of riding ahead of us.
Durin's folk shall endure, as we always have.
Right, don't mind me, I'm just trying to ride to the epilogue. Surely you can let me pass for that, right? Sneaking my way through. I'm a stealthy minstrel on a boar. Nope, nothing to see here. No tasty elves riding through here on mobile bacon. We're just fine. And safely ignore us. Let us go about our way. I just want to get to the door here. Ha. Okay, now we need to go down the secret door and all the way back down to Mozog's tomb. And yes, you can shortcut some of these if you're careful-ish. You can also fall way more than you intended to if you are not. Okay, so we've met back up with Durin and Mozog.
I deem his time is short.
Durin says, Mozog, I cannot forgive you for the treachery in your past, but I acknowledge the aid you provided. For that you have not only my gratitude, but that of every dwarf whose heart longed for the mountain home to be restored.
My dream is ending, Durin. I will watch no more.
So he's telling Durin basically, like, yeah, I don't have the answers that I think you want, but I've watched you all these years, and I think I think you have what you need.
Goodbye, Mozart. Once I called you friend, and once enemy. Let us part now as friends.
So here we go. It's the last of the Grey Malls and his last moments as he turns back into a statue. The last of the Grey Malls has left the world, only his statue remains.
He is gone.
And yeah, whatever the first crafter did to let Mozart stay in there and have sight and have sentience and be there in the statue is indeed gone. But Durin got to reunite with him, and Durin also got to basically pick back up his memories of being the other Durins. So both good acts and evil shape the world, in Gundabad no more nor less than anywhere else, and it is the duty of good-hearted folk to care for those who dwell in it. Will you take up this duty with me, my friend, and make that the legacy we leave behind? And so concludes the legacy of Durin. So yeah, that finishes up the core Gundabad storyline, starting with getting Durin's forces through the gates of Gundabad, so kind of starting to retake it piece by piece, and ending up with reuniting Durin and Mozart, even if just for a tiny little bit. So let's see, we've got teleport out of here to Bree, because we are done with Gundabad for now. I might come back in and do some side quests, but what I want to check and see is how are this guy's wrappers looking, and what do I have that I can bounce through and get a chunk of an XP bar? Yeah, he's got some solid... Whoa, hey, Bree is jumping tonight. So this is what a lot of nights are like in Bree on Landreval, is just gatherings of bands at the Prancing Pony. See, oh, yep, Mardi Gras Party is playing. They are one of our very regular bands. But I'm going to leave that behind.
What can I do for you?
And go see about getting just a little more XP, because, I mean... that is annoyingly close.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
And it would just be really nice to be able to get to 140 on this guy tonight. Don't know if it's going to happen, but we shall see. A lot of these missions in here are annoying if you are a straight up melee character, but if you are ranged, especially if you have AoE, they're not nearly as bad.
How can I be of service?
A nice quick burst of XP.
Will you lend me your ear?
And these kind of undead in the ruins and water is a piece of more or less a series of these missions. Which is why this one was not here before, but I unlocked it by completing the one that I just did. So that lets me do the one that has me going a little bit further into the ruins and investigating further. Right, that guy was sneaky. Yeah, and then we got this signature guy right here. Oh, who's gonna do that? Okay, going submerged is just cheating. I'll fight your ads. Fine.
Megovanen. Mind my words, traveler.
Okay, now we get to extinguish the brazier and get interrupted. And fight off multiple waves of ads. Okay, here should be ad wave 1. They're still up. There he is. I had one that was just determined to hide from me. Okay, Drowned Prince pops back up, wants another bit of a beatdown. I oblige him. Douse the flame again. And the apparitions fade, and Scout comes and says, let's go the heck out of here.
How can I be of service?
I don't think there's one after that. Nope, because now it's just ruins.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
And then leadership direction. And leadership direction is annoying. Because there's way too much running around trying to find the specific enemy in that spot. And just no. No needle in a haystack quest, please. Where is this lone one? Are they wandering? Yep, there they are. And now I should have 4 on the level above me.
Megovanen.
Okay, that advances the 15 of 15 weekly wrapper for this character. And so close to 140. Another 1 or 2 of these should do it.
Greetings, friend. Might I have a word with you?
Okay, gonna start off with Jaws of Death and see if that's enough to get me what I'm looking for. Nice thing about the minstrel red line is basically I can just stand back and pop heads like a cannon when I'm doing on level normal difficulty stuff, that is. Now, see, the interesting thing here is that when this is not being run as a delving, you have a much better chance of this 3-pole actually successfully splitting into a 2-pole. Like it did just there. Only the front 2 came. The delving stuff just adds that extra layer of aggro and linking, which makes that particular pull almost inevitably a 3-pole, unless you get just stupid lucky. And that's the last of them. How'd I go? I have the sneaking feeling this is not quite gonna be enough to level me too. Just looking at how much I need 1800, so yeah, this won't be enough to level me. I'll have to do one more.
Can I take a moment of your time?
Of course. And this will be 15 of 15. And here's my scout right here to let me out. And this gets me to level 140. So that is mission accomplished for the moment. Let's see, this gives me the quest to assist in the conquering of the 3 peaks, which I have gone through these things. Stop giving me the 3 peaks. Don't want to do War of the 3 Peaks. I want to, at this point, move on to Song of Waves and Wind, because that is the actual content that leads into Umbar. But that is neither here nor there. So, do I have any of this stuff that I want to equip and use right now? First off, put back the task carry-all, because I'm done with that on this character for now. Let's take a look and see what we got. Boots, we'll replace the ring. Keep my earrings. The cloak, I'm not actually going to use the quest reward cloak because I'm using a Cloak of the Traveler, which is actually better. Let's see, that is... Yeah, I'm still going to keep using the Earring of the Traveler there. Yeah, so not a ton of immediately usable gear upgrades, but now that I'm 140, I'm pretty sure that I have some stashed gear on some of my other alt characters that I use to store and hold gear. So I should have at least a few pieces of... No, I'm not going to do the Return to Karn Doom quests on this character, but I will at least do that to get out of my mail. That's what we want, is the summons from King Elisar. That's where this character is going to pick up. But I should at least have a few pieces of level 140 gear that's the teal delving gear to replace some of these random sundry quest and leveling items to get me a nice little bonus when I start in on King's Gondor with this character. But for now, that's going to be the end of that. And we are going to call it a night here. So got done what I was looking to get done. Got through the core Gondor storyline, or Gundabad storyline, not Gondor, and got all those pieces done. So that's solid. And hit 140. So the next time I play this guy, I will be starting in on the Song of Waves and Wind, which is going into King's Gondor and starting that storyline. But probably that's going to be a good chunk of time from now, because I got a lot of levels blasted through, so he gets to take a break. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and shut things down. And probably taking tomorrow off. And Thursday, the plan is to start in on Persona 3 Reload, because that launches Thursday. I won't get to play it during the day, but I'll get to play it after work. And y'all are probably stuck with that because I want to play Persona.